Hey Mel.
Hi, Lily.
So I understand that this past weekend was homecoming.
Yes.
How was that as a director?
As a director, it was a little stressful, but also I think I sort of feed off of stress. So with All Night Pomp, it was 24 hours of being awake and hanging all the screens and getting the last panels pumped. So it was pretty fun, but pretty exhausting also, but it was definitely worth the effort.
Mhm. Um, how was everything leading up to All Night Pomp? How was the whole homecoming experience this semester?
Yeah, leading up to it, me and the two other design directors would meet probably 6 out of 7 of the days of the week, and we would design a panel. And then once we designed it in Photoshop, we would then put it into a program called Max Stitch, and then basically from there, you get to decide what color you want every single little piece of the grid to be, and just make sure that the Max Stitch program correctly transferred from Photoshop to the Max Stitch, and you print it from there. But it was a lot of just we designed as we went along, and luckily we had like cohesive colors going throughout the whole entire thing, so that sort of brought it all together.
Nice. Um, did you always want to be a homecoming director, or how did this come about?
Well, last year I thought about it. I remember asking one of the directors, I was like, so what are all the different positions? But I didn't really think much of it after that. And then the people got elected in, and then something came up towards the end of the semester last year, and they had to get new directors. So I think Kaio exec just said, okay, this girl, can y'all step up and be directors? And I said, sure. And so me and my friend Ricky had to learn how to use Photoshop because we had no clue how to use it. So we weren't planning on it, but we were able to jump into those positions, and I think it worked out pretty well. So
What did you learn from being a director?
yeah, I think definitely learned different ways to manage people, and I think looking back at the experience there was like managing people, I definitely know what to do different next year. I'm actually taking a management class right now, and he was talking about the different ways to like deal with people, or how different leaders lead in different ways. And I was like, okay, I wish I would have been more like aware of how I was leading people going into it versus just like, okay, everyone please pomp. So I think as far as dealing with people goes, I'm excited to like sit down and sort of assess the past 2 months and how it went and what I want to do differently. But also I think I learned time management, and I learned how to I don't know, I learned Photoshop, I learned Max Stitch, and I learned to think more creatively. I'm trying to think more creatively recently, and I think putting a whole entire deck together definitely makes you think like very big picture because it's like 18 by 80 feet large. So I learned some of that. Yeah.
Do you intend to do this next year?
I hope to, yes. I hope to do it next year, and I'm excited to, I don't know, I know it's like 2 days after homecoming ended, but I'm excited to see what the overarching theme for next year is going to be. But I definitely want to take another stab at it next year.
All right. What was it like being so busy and uh, like socially? How was
Yes.
that dealing with not being able to see your friends as much?
Yeah, I think so. As I mentioned earlier, I sort of feed off of being busy, and that like definitely drives me. I didn't realize how much I liked being busy until literally I had no free time at all. But I think it was cool because I have a friend group that I hang out with quite a bit, but I was able to meet some of the people outside of that group, and there were a lot of girls, the other girl directors. Some of them I would not have interacted with like basically at all unless it was like in passing, but I was able to get to know them super well and to work with them and to like make a project as big as a homecoming deck is. And so that was cool. I think maybe every other week I'd be like, man, I sort of miss my friends just because they would be hanging out and I would be designing stuff or I'd be in the pomping room, which was fine. But I think it definitely made me appreciate those times with my friends more because I couldn't have it all the time since I was so busy. But it was definitely cool meeting the KA guys and getting to know them because, again, like so many people that I was working so closely with, I would not have been able to without homecoming.
And it's good that you like enjoyed what you were doing,
Mm-hmm.
even though it was taking away from the other.
Exactly. No, I agree. I think some people like got very easily stressed, and it was just very overwhelming for them. But I think I don't know if you're like, okay, this is a task at hand. I'm gonna do it as best I can, and there's really no reason in being stressed because all it's gonna do is make you like work slower or just be overwhelmed while doing the work. So it's like you're either gonna enjoy the work while you do it or be in a bad mood while you do it. So I don't really see the point in having a bad attitude about it.
Would you encourage people to do homecoming?
100%. 100%. Last year, I was like the person who wasn't completing my pumping hours. I saw the whole thing as sort of like, oh, this is ridiculous, so much money, and to just, oh, whatever. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I think once I was like forced to step up and get into the role of director, I think it's cool how much it brings OSU together, how many people it brings, just thousands of people, which is crazy. And just the fact that I think it was maybe week 2 or 3, I was like, holy cow, this is just like a huge group project, just like in class. But instead, like, there's a bunch of people riding on you doing your job well, not just the other 10 directors, but all the 100-something girls of Kaio, all the 100 boys of KA. So it was definitely, I don't know, it's just cool that college kids can put on something so big. And then you have Harvest Carnival, then you have the sign competition. So there's so much that goes into it. And it is for one weekend, but I think it's cool because so many alums come back for it. So many kids grow up going to it, and they're like, man, I want to be part of that when I grow up. So that's definitely something I enjoy quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Mel.
Yes.